So today let's talk about why some foods might be worsening your spinal, that is your back and neck, and nerve pain. So basically, the hidden food triggers that could be worsening your joint, spinal, and nerve pain. Now, as an executive mom, you're used to powering through the discomfort, whether it's your tight shoulders from sitting at your desk for an hours at end, or just because of the stress of a long drawn day. But if you're dealing with persistent pain that just doesn't go away, it might be more than just your posture or your workload. I know I talk a lot about posture and your desk and ergonomics, but sometimes, even though all these things fall in place, there might be a weak link somewhere, and that could be the inflammation that is triggered by certain foods that you eat. Now, of course, I'm not a nutrition expert, but from my own personal experience with spinal, that is back and neck and nerve pain, I have realized that inflammation plays a huge role in how you feel with your pains and discomforts and aches. Aches and pains. Now, when I was on my own journey of spinal, that is back and neck and nerve pain, I realized that there were so many pieces of the puzzle that had to be put together, and a main one was your nutrition, or what you were putting into yourself, basically your food. Now, because I have seen it firsthand that my wrong food choices would aggravate my pain when I went to certain foods that would help me relieve my pain. So, if you have been unknowingly eating foods that contribute to your inflammation, there are some points that you need to know, and let's discuss that in today's video. Now, before we start with today's topic, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Swati. I'm an executive mom power coach. I help moms of younger kids who work in high stress executive jobs to manage their spinal, that is back and neck, and nerve pain. And this is despite low energy levels and brain fog, or mommy brain, or a lack of focus. So, I do this by giving you some simple exercises, some easy lifestyle modifications, some tips and tricks that have helped me in my own pain and adrenal fatigue journey. Now, those of you who are familiar with adrenal fatigue know there are lots of symptoms, but the main ones that I had were lack of focus and low energy levels. And when you have these two, it is not impossible. I have been there, done that. However, and of course come out on the other side, but it is nearly next to impossible to manage your aches and pains. Well, you can, but it takes you years and years. At least it did for me. So here I am teaching you all that I know to be able to manage your spinal, that is back and neck, and nerve pain despite low energy levels and brain fog. All right, so I do all this without taking away a big chunk of your time, because hey, we're moms, we're busy people. So without taking more of your time, let's jump into the hidden food triggers that could be worsening your spinal, that is back and neck, and nerve pain. So, basically, what you need to know and understand is in the relation or the hidden link between inflammation and your nervous system. Now, when I say nervous system, I'm obviously referring to the body and your nerves and spine, etc. But pain isn't just about movement, it's also how you react, or your body or your nervous system reacts to the inflammation. Now, when inflammation is high, your body becomes more sensitive to pain signals, making those minor aches and pains feel even worse. It's like you're in this hypersensitive mode where even a light, something that would cause lighter pain, would feel like a lot of pain. So, what exactly does all this mean? The very first thing I want to address is, what is inflammation? Inflammation is actually not a bad thing, contrary to what most of us believe. Inflammation is when the body, it is actually good, because when inflammation is present, because of whatever reason, of course having inflammation is not good, but when inflammation is present, that means the body's healing mechanism is activated. The body goes there and heals whatever is causing the inflammation. Inflammation is characterized by pain, redness, swelling, loss of function, etc. There are lots of things. However, you may have one or more of these characteristics. Anyway, so off the nerdy talk, and some more to come. But what was I talking about? That inflammation and the nervous system. How do you get hypersensitive? Now, what happens is, chronic inflammation can constantly irritate your nerves, your joints, your spine, and that makes your pain last longer. It's like if there is, say, acute inflammation. I fell down, I scraped my knee, there's inflammation, my healing mechanism kicked in. I put some whatever I use essential oils, but whatever I use for my ouchies, I've put that, and the scrape becomes better. That's it. But when you have chronic inflammation, it just keeps going on and on and on. It's quite a long drawn process. So that obviously makes your pain last longer. And then some foods can increase your inflammatory response. So, how you respond to that inflammation, how your body's healing mechanism kicks in and responds to that inflammation. So, that will worsen your stiffness and discomfort. Now, if you are feeling that you have pain even on those rest days, that is, if for me it was more, I'm off work, I'm doing nothing, I'm still feeling those aches and pains somewhere nagging me in the background, that could be the missing piece. That inflammation that's happening in the body is the missing piece. So even though actively I'm not doing anything, that inflammation is kicking in. Now, if you want to learn more about inflammation, I have done a video on why some people feel more pain than others, and what is the role of inflammation in this. And I have a lot of other videos on YouTube. So what I've done is, just for your convenience, I have made a blog on this topic. Let me just see. The topic for the blog is why some foods might be worsening your spinal and nerve pain. Now, in that blog, I talk a lot more about inflammation, about uh, movement, posture, etc. And I give you more details, and I will refer back to it as we go on in this video. However, if you want to access that blog, you can. I will leave a link to that blog in the description of this video. You can find it there. Um, Okay, and if you're watching me on Instagram, the link is in my bio. If you can't find it on any of the platform, or you really don't want to go and find it, if you're having one of those lazy days, just message me. I'll send it across to you. All right, so moving on. So, uh, through my own journey with spinal and nerve pain, I noticed that some foods, as I was saying before, consistently made my pain symptoms worse. So some of them were, we all know about these, but processed and sugary food, they spike up your inflammation. When you eat that sugar candy, it just tastes good on your tongue, starts to have, and you swallow it, and the inflammation starts throughout your digestive system, right? And even after you have eliminated that from your digestive system, it stays in because it goes into your bloodstream and then throughout the body and into your brain, giving rise to that brain fog. Excessive alcohol and caffeine. While of course you can have your morning coffee, I'm not saying don't have your evening glass of wine. It feels good short term. It can lead to dehydration, it can lead to muscle tightness. So think about it. When you have that cup of coffee or that wine glass, how do you feel about it? How do you feel the next day? That is something that's individual. For me, it was both. So I do drink coffee, but I try to cut back. I have cut back quite a fair bit, so probably once in a week or something, or in a fortnight. However, I'll tell you how I did that. I'll tell you at the end. And I haven't had a drop of alcohol for the last 2, 3 years now, and I don't miss it at all because that used to trigger my pain. Highly processed oils and fried foods. Of course, these are something that I can probably make 10, 20 videos on this, but I'm just giving you just the brief overview. Now, obviously, cutting out everything overnight is not realistic, but what can you do about it? Try these simple, small, mindful changes. Stay hydrated, right? And incorporate more whole, unprocessed food while reducing those. Anything that comes out of a packet basically is a heavily refined one. Track how your body responds to what I just told you about, right? So I'm just reading through my notes here. So if you are pushing through your pain and you don't see any progress, your body might be telling you something. Start to listen to your body, listen to those symptoms. Now, food isn't the only factor. It's worth exploring how these small dietary shifts, combined with better movement, a good posture, can help reduce that inflammation, ease that pain. So get to the bottom of it. Why do you have that pain? Why do you have that inflammation? And then add in factors like small movements within your capacity not to aggravate the pain. You may be in a wheelchair, you may be somebody who works out at the gym. You have to find your own balance. Of course, if you need help with that, I'm here, I can help you. Just message me and I'll let you know. um, and of course, posture plays a big role, because if I'm always slumped like this, of course my spine is not going to be happy, my joints are not going to be happy, and the inflammation will increase for sure. Now, there is a 11-day free program that I had started the same 3 years ago. That is when I stopped alcohol completely. Not that I was drinking too much, but I used to have probably a glass of wine every week or something. So, or every month, sorry. So I wasn't a big drinker anyway. But that 11 days free program can help you to manage or reduce the inflammation in your body, including, of course, and of course, it works on your spinal and nerve pain. Now, there are many people who have managed to get over their spinal nerve pain, neuralgia, and arthritis, and a lot of other things. I will leave a link in that blog that I just mentioned, and the link to the blog is in the description of this video. Have a look at it. There are testimonials in that link. So it's not just me talking. You can actually see that it has worked for people. So though it works on reducing inflammation on every part of the body, I have gone ahead and customized it for people with spinal, that is back and neck and nerve pain, by including some simple yet effective exercises for these areas, and easy tips to work on your posture, etc. There's a lot of stuff in there. Um, there is a small course that's included in that free program as well, which is for pretty high value. Anyway, have a look at the blog, and the details of the free program, the 11 days jumpstart, is in there. Alrighty, so that's all I wanted to address. Oh yeah, I did talk about coffee. So when I started doing the 11 days jumpstart, I stopped getting sugar cravings. For everybody is different, but this is something that I have seen, because I'm in touch with other people who are doing this. Sugar cravings go down drastically. My sugar cravings are absolutely zero. I don't crave sugar at all. If I do on any given time, say it's that time of the month for me, I will pop in a cranberry or a blueberry or something that's more natural sweet, and that's what my body craves. If I eat sugar, I cannot tolerate it. And that is what got me off the coffee as well. So yeah, that's all I wanted to cover for you today. So if you have any questions, any comments for me, let me know. I'll be happy to help you out.